rural broadband is concerned, it's no longer a luxury. It's a must-have.
Yes, but the reality is thousands of people across our state do not have access to high-speed internet, and that can be really can present a big challenge for students right now who are doing all of their work out of the classroom and online these days. Thanks for joining us for 10 TV News at 6. I'm Yolanda Harris.
We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Scott Light. Let's begin with 10 TV's Brittany Bailey. She's looking at some of the challenges out there when it comes to those two things that Yolanda just mentioned, learning and connectivity.
Remember when high school meant sports and class pictures? Kyle Hicks sure does, but this is what the classroom looks like for the Amanda-Clearcreek senior these days.
I am 25 minutes away from home at my aunt's house because my internet is not good enough to do any of my schoolwork.
And he's not alone in his struggle for access.
In our grade alone, I know that there's probably between 5 and 10 people that have to do the paper assignments because they simply don't have internet at home.
Many districts are doing what they can to get devices to students, but those devices have to connect to something.
I have some kids that simply just seems like they've dropped off the face of the earth.
John Reminder works in Bellefontaine City Schools, and he worries about some of his students.
There are lots of kids that simply just do not have the opportunity to have the remote learning or the remote education that many of the kids in town that do have that access, they don't have those opportunities.
To do that, many rural districts are offering paper assignments that can be delivered on buses and dropped off at school, but it's just not the same.
It's estimated that about 300,000 people in Ohio do not have access to internet broadband, and the lack of that access hampers everything.
Patrick Higgins is the director of communications for Ohio's electric cooperatives. He says broadband internet to rural areas can cost $60,000 to $70,000 per mile, but he says it's a must-have.
Right now, as a nation, we're practicing social distancing, but people in rural areas have been largely relegated to that for years.
Brittany Bailey, 10 TV News.
Patrick Higgins there does have advice for people living in those rural areas that may not have good internet access. He says the key is to really get involved and to advocate for more funding. And you can do that, of course, by contacting your local electric co-op and contacting your lawmaker.